How do I keep ending up wearing, like, dark shirts? Like, if someone were to look at my vlogs, especially when I get them out, because I still need to do that, this May has kept me so busy. I haven't even gotten much reading done. More than April, but still not much. Was it more than April? April, what was 2 books, I think? What'd I read this month? Now I'm confused. And yeah, we're gonna deal with that later when I record the wrap up. But yeah, I don't know why. Maybe it's just reflective of my mood when I get in recording or something. Get into a recording mood or something, I think is what I meant to say there. I'm tired, sorry. Yeah, so it's about to be June, about to go into summer. And hello. I should say. I should actually start the video properly. Hello. Hello. Welcome to my YouTube channel, Changeling Reader. If you're new here, my name is Adrian. Why do I feel like I just said that wrong? I probably didn't, but it just like my brain for a second was like, oh. But yes, today I am here to do a bit of a interesting video because I'm kind of gonna be doing my June TBR as well as kind of planning out my summer reading because I am joining the summer book bingo over at Beautiful Minutia hosted by language. I'm joining the summer book bingo hosted by Tiffany over at Beautiful Minutia. That's a lot better. Oh boy. Yeah, I'll probably, as I go through that, get to it, I'll put the actual bingo board up somewhere here and then like, we'll see what I end up doing. I might try being fancy and putting book covers on different prompts as I go or like question marks. But, you know, I decided to split the video to where we're going to focus on just the June TBR as best I've got it. It's a bit wibbly wobbly in some points, but yeah, we're going to split this into a June TBR and the summer book bingo discussion. But at first, let me give a little Preamble Ramble, as I've called it previously. I'm back home. I have graduated. I reorganized books. It's going on a week since I've graduated, and less than a week since I got back home, so I've been busy unpacking and also sleeping a lot. Like, I ended up sleeping almost a whole day, I think. I don't know. It's been whack. Okay, because I've been like trying to get my books done, hyper focused on like my organization, which I don't even know if I like now, and then trying to get unpacked. I will say with the book bingo, like figuring out things I had originally thought to like do more of a let's actually go look for them on the shelves. No, my room is still like a hectic mess from trying to unpack stuff and organize and get things places. Honestly, it's a thing for me where it's like, as soon as I get my books in place and organized, things start to fall in place. Secondarily, kind of clothes. If I can get my clothes in place, it's like books, then clothes, and I'm home. And everything will find a place. And it'll figure itself out, or I will figure it out, I guess. But yeah, I have various vlogs that I need to work on. I haven't done as much work on them as I wanted to with all the sleeping and organizing and unpacking and being busy with a wedding and graduating and going to a goat farm with my mom where I didn't have internet access, and then my laptop has been stupid and is now needing to be plugged in to turn on. It's just a lot. But yes, eventually you will be seeing this. The timeline's getting more weird because you're seeing this where I'm back home and I still need to get the beginning weeks of the last semester of college for me, and then I think a vlog, 24-hour readathon, another vlog, last 2 weeks of college vlog, and then I have a book haul, and then I have a few other video ideas swirling in my head that I'm thinking through. And I know that this month I'm going to have to do like a mid-year check-in about a bunch of different stuff, and I'll have to plan for that. But yes, this coming month, June, is going to be very busy for me, because I also have to look into getting started on getting a driver's license and other stuff. I'm so sorry. This is a terrible preamble ramble. Let's actually get to the books. So, it's not the end of the month yet. It's not the end of May yet. But I don't think I'm going to be finishing any of the books I have in progress right now, unfortunately. But let me actually grab or start going through. Let me set these behind me. Start going through the books that I am going to be continuing into, So first we have The Dragon Reborn by Robert Jordan. I am 74 pages into this. Don't have much to say aside from I'm enjoying it and I really need to catch up with my mom. You will see why I am I need to catch up in upcoming vlogs. I need to get editing is the thing. Then we have Rising Out of Hatred, The Awakening of a Former White Nationalist by Eli Saslow is going to be continuing over. I'm going to go through these quick since I already shared a lot on them. I'm just going to let you know where I am. I'm on page 86. Then we have The Singing Creek Where the Willows Grow, The Mystical Nature Diary of Opal Whiteley, but with an biography and afterword by Benjamin Hoff on page 185. And then the last one that I am going to be continuing, but not the last carryover from May TBR book. Not last carryover books from the May TBR, but it's Disability Visibility. I am on page, what page is this? It doesn't have a number on it. 85. Okay, so those are the books that I have in progress. Aside from ones that are temporary DNFs that I am going to be trying to pick back up this June. But let me actually just go through the books I'm going to be carrying over. So we got Forbidden Fruit, Guyland, For You by Mona Kabani, Scorpion Fish by Natalie Bacopoulos, A Suitable Boy by Vikram Seth. I haven't started this at all. Okay. And that's all of the books that are going to be just on my TBR carrying over. Then we have the ones that were temporary DNFs that I am going to try to pick back up. One being more likely to be ones that I'm determined to get through than the other. With the one that I'm kind of, if I actually do get halfway, I might just DNF it if it's not going well still. Is A Secret History by Donna Tartt. I'm on page 200. And I have actually, actively been, every time I look at it, I'm not sure if I want to pick that back up. But, so it was started off as kind of a temporary DNF. It might become a more permanent DNF for a while. We'll see. I'm going to give it another shot for a while. And then we have the big boy, Infinite Jest by David Foster Wallace. I'm excited to pick this back up. I only put it down because I was like, yeah, no, can't do this while pursuing English literature. Yeah. Okay, now we come to the interesting portion of this because there's a few things happening this June, right? So, there I have to do Read Your Bookshelf Challenge and the Buzzwordathon. It's Pride Month. And then I have a specific book I want to read because I got a giveaway book. Yeah, so let's start with the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge. So, in May, my book for the Read Your Bookshelf Challenge was Scorpionfish, and the prompt for June is a book whose title is half the amount of letters of the May book. So Scorpionfish has 12 letters. And I already kind of had an idea of which one I was going to do, and it's Hidden by Victoria Lustbader. I think I've talked about it before. I'm not sure, actually. Okay, and then the Buzzwordathon, the prompt is Other. Now, I haven't looked back through my books since acquiring a lot of books and stuff like that, but the last I checked, the only kind of books that I had that had other in it were like things where it's like Lady Mitsanks and Other Stories by blank author, or Work and Other Stories by blank author. So I ended up going with The Picture of Dorian Gray and Other Stories by Oscar Wilde for the other prompt. Okay, and then June is Pride Month. A month that is actually a bit relevant to me for a few different reasons. I have various friends who are queer, a variety of connections with the queer community, basically. Because I have trans friends, queer friends, the lot. Why do I feel hesitant? I feel like I'm going to be very judged for this, but I'm not sure why. Because it's not like it's a bad thing. But I have 3 books that I was looking at. This is partly because of the summer book bingo, where I'm not sure how things are going to go. Let me set these 2 here. So first we have The Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue by Mackenzie Lee. Less by Andrew Sean Greer. And then Middle Ground by Ursula Zielinski, which is a gay modern classic, apparently. I should not be speaking as I'm turning away. I just realized that. But it's a gay modern classic, apparently. Okay, and then, for sure I know I'm going to be trying to read The Deep by Nick Cutter. Because I won this Advanced Reader's Edition of The Handyman Method by Nick Cutter and Andrew F. Sullivan. And I was like, ooh, cool. My first ARC, or like Advanced Reader's Edition. This is so cool. I want to read it before it comes out. Like it's on sale. I won it on Goodreads, and I was like, oh my gosh, this is my first Goodreads win, and it's my first Advanced Reader's Edition or copy, whatever. But I also had a Nick Cutter novel beforehand, and I was like, I haven't read any Nick Cutter before, so I was like, I should read to see what he's like by himself, so I can then see how it's different when a second person is introduced. Yeah. Okay, I think that is all of the June TBR stuff. I'm gonna actually move some things so it's a bit easier to grab stuff and interface here. I'll get right back to you though. Okay, so I actually don't have an image of the bingo board or anything like that. So like I'll how am I gonna do this? Am I really gonna move over here and then like have hold on. Where's my notebook? Oh, it's behind me. Okay, so I think I determined it. I would prefer to have the summer board here-ish. And then maybe I'll do something with the covers. We'll see. That might take a lot of effort. But, yeah, okay, so, I will say, a lot of repetition with this because a lot of my books for June or a lot of the books carrying over into June worked well for prompts, so I count them. But yeah, so we're going to start with the coming of age prompt, which I wasn't sure if these books were coming of age. So at first I was like, I don't know if Gentleman's Guide to Vice and Virtue is. And I was like, well, Less I know is kind of like coming into middle age. Coming of middle age novel. So I was like, maybe that would work. And then, I hope I'm not too far over. And then I literally was like, well, if both of those fail, I also just have this book, which is Coming of Age at the End of Nature. A generation faces living in on a changed planet. Because I was just like, it's in the name. It's gotta have coming of age in it. So that's that prompt. Once I'll put like how am I gonna do that if I'm gonna do the bingo board with pictures? Well, I'll figure it out. You'll see how I determine this. Okay, and then for the modern classic option prompt, I decide to go with middle ground. This might actually be a bit depressing because it does seem to be in a Nazi labor camp, which is not fun, obviously. That feels a bit trite to say. Okay, and then here we are again. We have sunset colors on the cover. Now, I actually had a variety of books pulled out for this. Honestly, I could have done Rising Out of Hatred by Eli Saslow because it literally, that is sunset colors. However, with this summer book bingo, I'm going with books that I am either freshly picking back up or just reading for the first time or fully gonna be starting as soon as summer hits. So I thought it worked perfectly that The Deep actually has a sunset. It's a bit of a darker sunset on it. Yeah. That's that prompt. I have another book on this list that I was also thinking because of the oranges. But yeah, that prompt I thought was going to be difficult. Way easier than expected. Ooh, okay, the next prompt is most recent purchase. Okay, so I have 2 books here. I'll say that right now. My most recent purchase was from a library. So I made a lot more than just these 2, right? I was trying to just select them, and I went to these 2. I'll say them shortly, but they're my most recent purchase, and they're both library books. I got them from the library, because I'm not going to check out a book from the library for this, because I'm not I don't know how I'm gonna manage to do that. Plus, I need to get through more of my own books now. Anyways, whichever one I read first will count for the recently purchased and then the other library book. So we have Wallace Stegner's Crossing to Safety and Margaret the First, a novel by Danielle Dutton. How am I going to work that into the bingo board? Just don't question it. Alright, the next prompt is graphic novel or manga. Now, I do have some graphic novels, right? Like I have the Bone series and I have A Monster Calls by Patrick Ness. However, I've read both of those and I didn't really have any other graphic novels or like manga that I haven't read, except I did end up hauling this book, Strange Planet by Nathan W. Pyle. Now, I don't know if this will count. I'm currently counting it. Tiffany, if you object, you can let me know. But it's just because it's a book of like comics and stuff like this that I was like, I think this will work as like a graphic novel. Not novel. It's more of like graphic short stories at that point, but it's the best I've got. Otherwise, I guess I could I'm not going to reread A Monster Calls. I could reread the Bone series, I guess, by Smith. What's his first name? I'm blinking on his name. Anyways, yeah, so that's the best prompt I have. Option for that prompt. Then because, I was going to talk about the Buzzwordathon books. I'll do that now with this specific book and then later after wrapping up talking about the summer book bingo. So, the next prompt are we in the next row? Yes, we're in the next row, I believe. Second chance author, and I'm going with James Patterson in When the Wind Blows. This is on my Read project, and it is going to be my July Buzzwordathon book, which I think the prompt is weather, so wind. Yeah, that's that. Is it really a second chance for James Patterson, though? It's more like it's just another chance, but it's still, I guess I'm calling it a second chance, because otherwise I don't have any, like, Ellen Montgomery books on hand, and I don't want to download another book from Project Gutenberg, and the other book I was thinking I decided to use for a different prompt or would fit better in a different prompt. Okay, and then we have the next prompt, which is one word title, and for that I have hidden. Alright, and next we have a non-fiction, which I decided to use Guyland for. Even though I was reading other non-fiction, all of those had been started before. Otherwise, I think, up here I have the autobiography of Malcolm X. If I end up reading that before, I'll count that. We'll see. It's totally up to my mood. Then we have summer camp. Right. Okay. So, if anyone here doesn't know, I have a Likewise. And I used it to ask the community on there for summer camp books, or whether it be related or it heavily features it. And I got like a decent amount, I think like some 25 suggestions, none of which I have, unfortunately. However, if any of y'all wish to see it, I do think once I have a bit more spare time, I'm going to type this list up and put it on Tiffany's Discord. Right? Beautiful minutia. If you go to her channel, like with the video and her channel linked below, you should be able to get to her Discord through that. And then she has a section dedicated to the summer book bingo where I will be putting a bunch of these summer camp books so people can possibly look into them. But because I knew I didn't have any other summer camp books, I ended up just deciding I would reread The Lightning Thief by Rick Riordan, book 1 of the Percy Jackson and the Olympians, which is going to be weird because I'm probably just going to read the first book and then not continue because I don't have the rest of the books and I don't really feel like getting the rest of them, but I don't have, as far as I know, I don't know of any other summer camp books on my shelves. Otherwise, I might explore a bit further, and then if I find one that isn't Percy Jackson, I might pick that instead. Okay, where was I? Right, okay. Library book. That prompt has already been covered with the most recent purchase prompt discussion. It will be one of those 2 books. Okay, and then 500 plus pages. I know what you're thinking, right? You'd think it would be Infinite Jest because that book is so long. And you would think a certain other book is translated, but no. For this prompt, I'm gonna aim for a suitable boy. Because turns out, I'm for some reason in my brain I was like, I think that's a translated book. It's not. Like, nowhere does it mention a translator. And it doesn't appear to be translated, so it was written in English, as far as I know. So that didn't work out, but that's fine. But it's still a wonderful, it still works, right? Because it's over 1,400 pages. The next prompt is mythology. And I did kind of think about this a bit. I almost went for some of my Greek myths or the fairy faith in Celtic countries. I thought about that, but then I was looking at it, and I had gotten Monkey by Wu Changyan, which is translated by Arthur Waley. I did not decide to do this for translation because I'm interested in reading this as kind of mythology, because it's a folk novel of China, and it's got the monkey, and it has encounters with major and minor spirits, gods, demigods, demons, ogres, monsters, and fairies. And I was so it's definitely mythological in nature. Okay, then we have the free space. Not reading anything for that because I'm already going to have enough books on my plate. Then we have a friend recommendation. So I decided to go with The Sweetness of Water by Nathan Harris for this, because this was a birthday gift over a year ago now by a, I guess, former friend now. I don't know what happened. She got this for me because she thought I'd like it. There's even a note she left on the inside. I don't know if you can see that. It actually kind of stings a little to be having it. I mean, I'm still gonna hold a place in my heart for my friend. I don't know what happened. As far as I can tell, it's just I feel like I've just been ghosted out of a friendship or something. But we're not here to talk about relationship drama. So yeah, this was a book that basically came recommended by her in form of a gift as well. I almost did this for Sunset because it gave me a little bit of sunset-y vibes, especially the binding, but yeah, that's that. Okay, owned over 5 years. I did not want to take the time to figure that out. Honestly, this is funny. I didn't even think about it, but I just brought it out here. Heartlight by T.A. Barron might actually fit this. I'm pretty sure I own this for a while now. Yeah, I got this when I was still in high school, or even earlier. I can't remember now, but I've had this a while. I only had this out because I realized I was going to talk about the Buzzwordathon for August, which is body parts and heart. So there we go. That might just fit that owned over 5 years prompt. I had a question mark on my list for that before, but there we go. Okay, next we have novella or short story. For You by Mona Kabani is going to be my prompt filler for that. I'm going to have a fair bit of horror this summer, I guess. What with the Nick Cutter books and then Mona Kabani. Okay. Outside comfort zone. I don't actually have one selected yet, but I was thinking it would either be a play, a short story collection, or a poetry collection, a smaller one. Based off of a later one here, I might end up reading a play if I can't find anything else. You'll see what I mean in a little bit. So I might not go with a play. So it'll be between short story collection and poetry. Currently in my brain, I'm kind of leaning towards poetry. That's still outside of my comfort zone because I haven't read much poetry and I'm not a big poetry reader as far as I know. But I have a lot of poetry collections now, and I do want to read them, and I want to cultivate my poetic taste and figure that out. But so yeah, that'll probably be it. I might just put poetry in that prompt box. Next, we have 2 E's in the title. This is where infinite jest comes in. You can see it right there. See? Right there. Sorry about that. But it's 2 E's and infinite jest. Even greater motivation to get it finished within the summer. Okay, then mystery. I honestly I could not think of a mystery that I was explicitly like, ooh. I mean, I have some Agatha Christie's over there at the edge, and I'm sure I have some mystery that I could find somewhere on these shelves or my other shelves. Actually, I have like this 2-minute mysteries. I have some mystery, fun, like interactive mystery books, or just one of them. I might use that just for like a fun, simpler thing, because I'm already gonna have a lot of reading this summer, so we're gonna try to go for, smaller books as best we can. Okay, then we have seaside or island setting. Honestly, I was like, I don't know where the settings of so many of these books are, or even the ones in my room. Like, I don't know where they're set. And then while I was getting prepared for this, I was like, wait a second. I had like a brain flash, and I was like, wait a second. I haven't read it, but doesn't The Tempest have like a lot of dealing with like a deserted island and then washing up on a shore and stuff like that? So like that's the one I meant when I mentioned earlier, possibly reading a play. I might end up reading The Tempest by Shakespeare. If I don't find any other better ones, I'm going to be going through a lot more of these books to do some more research. I just did not want to take the time, because it's the beginning of summer. I still have so much to go. I have 19 prompts, 20 counting the free space. I think 21 now with the over 5 years one, but I have so many spaces already kind of determined that I feel completely fine leaving a few to be figured out later on or as we go. So yeah, then we have standalone sci-fi or fantasy. And I got Warbreaker by Brandon Sanderson. I read some of this before and ended up having to put it down because I had to focus on other things, and then I didn't end up picking it up for a long while because other things came up. And then I decided to start The Wheel of Time, which hopefully I'll make some decent progress in that this summer, but with all these other books, who knows how it'll go. But so we got Warbreaker. Oh, it'll be good to get back to some Sanderson. Yeah. Okay, what's next? A buzzy book. So I was a bit thrown by this prompt, especially because I was like, I don't know if I have like a really prominent book that a lot of people are like talking about that's like a modern text. So instead my mind just went to the picture of Dorian Gray. And I was like, it's a buzzy book. It's still like something where people read it and they're like, it's so gorgeous, it made me cry. Like, the writing is so beautiful, I cried about it. Or it's fantastic, or stuff like that. And I haven't read it before. And this would have been a second chance if it weren't for the James Patterson, so... Or, well, I didn't necessarily want it to be, because I feel like if I went into it with the energy of this is your second chance, wild, better be good, I don't know if I'd like that energy. So going into it more like, this is a book that people are get really buzzed about and excited about. Yeah, so that's how I'm interpreting the prompt. If it's not this, I might count the handyman method, because I expect there'll be some buzz around it once it starts releasing in August. But yeah, there's that. And then we have translated work. Looking at my list, this is the last book I determined, and it's The Epic of Gilgamesh. And this little like Penguin Classics. It's the English version with an introduction by N.K. Sandars. And this has to be translated, right? Because there's no way it wasn't originally in English, of course. Yeah, I think this means that N.K. Sandars is the translator or whatever. Yeah. Okay, and then the last two prompts are Author Born in Summer. I actually need to check under the announcement video for the Summer Book Bingo, because someone in the comments left like a little like helpful list of a bunch of authors born in each of the summer months. So I'll probably use that to compare to my shelves and then pick one. I know I saw a lot, like I think George Orwell was on there, stuff like that. So that'll be useful, but I'm not too worried about that. I have a lot of other books selected that I'll be reading through before I get to these, because I'm basically gonna it'll be a bit mood based, but otherwise if I'm like, what do I want to read next, I'll just go down my list, which I guess will be going across in rows. If I understood how I did this right, you'll see how it ends up with the board here. But then the last prompt is inspired a movie. And I was actually looking at this, because I did have a moment where I was like, actually, there's a few books here that I might want to read that I haven't read before that did inspire movies or adaptations. Because I was like, movies, adaptations, kind of similar. Actually, all of them have movies, I'm pretty sure. But so I was thinking either Peter Pan, The Phantom of the Opera, or Emma by Jane Austen. So yeah. Whew. Okay, I am a bit heated. I am tired. I need to go to sleep. And yeah, I need to edit as well. Oh my goodness. Yes. Anyways, this was lovely. I mean, this was actually kind of like with like a very little effort, just kind of looking through, thinking through, and then considering my carryover TBR. And I was like, man, it just lines up well. So yeah, this has been my June TBR and planning for the rest of the summer. We'll see how things go, what with me getting a license. Other than that, I hope y'all have enjoyed going through this, dive through all of this stuff. Let me know if you'll be joining me in the summer book bingo or any of these other challenges, what books you're going to be reading in June or over the rest of the summer. Yeah. Other than that, happy Pride Month. Early happy Juneteenth. All that fun stuff, I guess. I don't know. I'm wishing everyone well this summer. I am so tired. Still, even with the amount of sleep I've been getting, I'm still like, ugh. But I know once I get like much more rested and stuff, I'll zoom into things. Sorry, that's a tired ramble. I'll probably edit that down or something. But yeah, make sure if you like the video to indicate that. Subscribe if you want to see more and upcoming videos, vlogs, a haul, mid-year check-ins, a wrap-up since the last time I did a wrap-up, because I gotta cover March, April, and May. And then, yeah. Comment about anything so long as it is not being offensive, I guess. Like, don't waste your time attacking me, I guess. Why do I need to say that? I don't know. Tired brain is making me just say things out my mouth. So I'm gonna end this now before I just ramble and make this even worse. So yeah, much good reading be upon you. Ciao.